Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to show you how to remove and replace the front brakes on this 2004 Trailblazer. Same as any 02 to 09 Trailblazer, as well as the other GM SUVs, Envoy, Bravada, Rainier, Saab 97X, and Isuzu Ascender. The extended vehicles have a little bit different brakes, but the procedure is basically the same. Tools you'll need for this job are 13, 18, and 19 millimeter sockets or wrenches, a breaker bar or pipe if you need some extra leverage. On this vehicle, I actually didn't even need either one of those, but maybe you do if your vehicle is a little stubborn coming apart. Flat blade screwdriver, wire brush, a large C-clamp, and a torque wrench. Start by prying your cap off. That's our 19 millimeter. If you don't have air tools, you want to start with the wheel on the ground, loosen the lug nuts, then raise it, support it with jack stands, and then remove the wheel and tire. And I'll just fast forward taking off the rest of those lug nuts and then removing the wheel and tire. Now either pull or using the steering wheel, turn your wheel so you have easy access to the back of the brake calipers. Now we can check the condition of the brakes. When I spin this, you'll see the rotor move. Okay, so right to the right there is actually your pad, and you can see there's not that much life left, and not a whole lot on the outside either. So we're gonna remove the caliper, which is removing a bolt up here and a bolt down here, and then after that we're gonna remove the caliper bracket, which is two large bolts, 18 millimeter, one here and one up here. Okay, the bolts holding the caliper, relatively easy, 13 millimeter. Use a small wrench. And we'll just speed it up here as I remove those two bolts. Okay, caliper comes right off. Just set it over here. Okay, these are 18 millimeter bolts for the caliper bracket. You're going to want a breaker bar, which is a bar to give you extra leverage. Okay, they actually come apart pretty easy. If you don't have a breaker bar like this, you just have a ratchet. You can put a piece of pipe on. Okay, it gives you extra leverage. And pull nice and easy on the pipe until they come loose. Before we take it all the way out, you can just take your pads off, use a screwdriver. It should pretty easily pry out. Okay. You can see this one. That little line down the middle is the wear indicator. And it's actually just about at the end of its life. And we'll fast forward again as we remove those two 18 millimeter bolts that hold that caliper bracket. Okay, once that comes off, then your disc should just come off. If your discs don't come off, there are threaded holes. And you can use some bolts. What you do is you put the bolts in there, and the bolts press against the hub to push them out. Okay, and these rotors, pretty crusty looking, so I am going to replace them. Okay, new disc from 1A Auto. Goes right on. You want to make sure you don't put these holes where this is, because what those holes are meant to do
this were stuck, you would use bolts to push it off. And I like to just put a lug nut on just to hold the rotor in place. Okay, before we put our bracket on, just use a wire brush and clean out these stainless steel slides a little bit. Make sure that these slides are nice and free, which they are on this. Put this on, put the bolt through the steering knuckle first, and then into the bracket. Torque these to 90 foot-pounds as well. Nice new set of brake pads. Go right in. Now you want to force these two pistons back down into the caliper. So I just put my old brake shoe right in there. Okay, and slowly force them back in with the C-clamp. Okay, use some brake parts cleaner or mineral spirits. Just get off any dirt that may be on there. Take your caliper, pull those slides in a little bit, put it down. These two bolts, 25 foot-pounds.
Okay, fast forward here as I remove that lug nut that I used to hold the disc in place. Put the tire back on, start all the lug nuts by hand first, and then I'll tighten them up preliminarily with my wrench and torque them when it's back on the ground. And with the tire back on the ground, I'm going to torque the lug nuts to between 100 and 120 foot-pounds, kind of just using a crossing pattern. Very important, after doing brake work, always pump your brakes many times, and then before you do a road test, make sure the brakes hold the vehicle in gear, and then do a stop from 5 miles an hour and 10 miles an hour before hitting the road. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.